Ladies and gentlemen, the way a person treats someone who holds no power or influence over them speaks volumes about their character. In life, we often encounter individuals in roles that might be considered invisible or overlooked: waitstaff, janitors, customer service representatives, or anyone who doesn't directly impact someone's goals or ambitions. These interactions are the true litmus test of a person's values. When someone is kind and respectful to people they have no obligation to impress, it shows authenticity. It reflects a fundamental respect for humanity, rooted in the understanding that everyone deserves dignity, regardless of their status or position. On the other hand, when someone dismisses or mistreats individuals who cannot provide them with any tangible benefit, it highlights an inherent lack of empathy or self-awareness. Think about it. The server at a restaurant might not affect your career, your social standing, or your ambitions, but the way you speak to them shows whether you view people as equals or as tools for your own convenience. People with genuine character don't reserve their kindness for the influential or the powerful. Their goodness is universal. They know that true integrity is consistent, not situational. Take a moment to reflect on the dynamics of power and human interaction. A person who feels the need to assert dominance over someone perceived as lower often does so to compensate for their own insecurities. This is not strength, it's weakness disguised as control. Conversely, those who treat others with grace and grace reveal a quiet confidence. They understand that their worth is not diminished by lifting someone else up. Imagine someone who always speaks kindly to everyone, offering a smile and gratitude even in the smallest moments. That person's behavior creates ripple small acts of kindness that have the power to transform someone's day. When we observe this in others, it's a sign of an emotionally intelligent and compassionate individual. On the flip side, witnessing someone belittle or disregard another person leaves an unmistakable impression of their true character, one that is unkind, insecure, self-centered. Why does this matter? Because relationships, whether personal, professional, or casual, are built on trust, respect, and reciprocity. But surrounding yourself with people who treat everyone with decency, regardless of status, ensures that you are building connections based on genuine values. And equally important, it sets a standard for your own behavior. The next time you observe someone, pay close attention to how they interact with those who can't give them anything in return. This is where the mask slips and their true nature is revealed. And if you ever catch yourself falling short in such moments, let it serve as a reminder to be better not just for others, but for yourself. How we treat the seemingly small moments in life defines who we truly are. After all, character is not measured by the big, dramatic gestures. It's in the everyday choices we make to uplift, respect, and care for others, regardless of what they can offer us. Adversity is life's greatest test, and how a person reacts when faced with difficulty speaks volumes about their true character. It's easy to show composure and kindness when everything is going well, when the path is smooth and the sun is shining. But when the storms of life arrive, bringing stress, disappointment, and challenges, that is when you truly see who someone is at their core. When adversity strikes, does the individual remain calm, collected, and solution-oriented? Or do they fall apart, becoming irritable, blaming others, or retreating into negativity? Resilience is one of the defining traits of a strong character, and it is forged in the fire of difficulty. Someone who navigates hardship with grace and determination demonstrates an inner strength that is both admirable and rare. Consider the many ways people handle adversity. Some rise to the challenge, maintaining their dignity even when life feels overwhelming. They face problems head-on, viewing setbacks not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities to grow and learn. These individuals show courage, patience, and self-discipline, traits that reveal a solid and dependable character. On the other hand, some let adversity strip away their facade, revealing behaviors that speak to a lack of inner stability. They may lash out, blaming others for their misfortunes or seeking to escape responsibility. When things don't go their way, they might become defensive, bitter, or even vindictive. These reactions reflect a lack of maturity and emotional intelligence, traits that ultimately undermine relationships and trust. Adversity is also a mirror for empathy and compassion. When someone is facing difficulty, do they still care about the well-being of those around them, or do they become consumed with their own struggle, disregarding others entirely? Strong individuals remain aware of the bigger picture, understanding that their actions in challenging times ripple outward, affecting others. They show respect and thoughtfulness, even under pressure, proving that their kindness and values are not situational but intrinsic. In personal relationships, watching how someone deals with setbacks is invaluable. A partner or friend who can handle life's inevitable difficulties with courage, honesty, and teamwork will likely be a reliable companion. Conversely, someone who crumbles under stress or projects their frustrations onto others can become a source of additional hardship rather than support. Take note of whether a person seeks solutions or wallows in problems. Do they take responsibility for their role in the situation, or do they play the victim? Do they lean on their support system with gratitude, or do they push people away with negativity? These are critical indicators of how they will navigate future challenges and how they will treat others in difficult times. Adversity doesn't create character, it reveals it. Pay attention to how people behave when life isn't going their way. It will tell you everything you need to know about their resilience, maturity, and emotional strength. And remember, how you handle your own struggles is just as important. It's a reflection of the person you strive to be and the example you set for others. One of the most revealing indicators of a person's true character is how they treat individuals from whom they have nothing to gain. It's easy to be polite, respectful, and charming to those in positions of power or influence people who can offer something in return. However, the measure of authenticity lies in how someone interacts with those who cannot provide them with tangible benefits. Service workers, strangers, or individuals they perceive as beneath them in status or authority. Pay attention to the tone, words, and attitude someone uses with waitstaff, custodians, or anyone in a position of service. Do they show respect and appreciation, or are they dismissive, demanding, and rude? A person who treats everyone with dignity and kindness, regardless of status, demonstrates a genuine sense of empathy and moral integrity. Their kindness is not transactional. It is a reflection of their values. Conversely, someone is charming and agreeable in one setting but condescending or cruel in another. It speaks volumes about their true character. This inconsistency reveals that their good behavior may be more about appearances than about principles. They might wear a mask of politeness when it benefits them, but remove it the moment they think no one is watching. The way someone treats people they don't need often reflects their worldview. Are they egalitarian, believing that every human being deserves respect? Or are they hierarchical, believing that kindness should only be extended to those they deem worthy? These attitudes influence how they approach relationships, decisions, and challenges. A person who respects everyone, regardless of their circumstances, is more likely to approach life with fairness and inclusivity. This principle also applies to how someone treats animals or the environment, entities that cannot advocate for themselves or offer direct benefits. A person who shows compassion to all living beings demonstrates a deeper understanding of their interconnectedness with the world around them. They recognize the intrinsic value of life and act accordingly, even when there is no immediate reward. In relationships, this insight becomes particularly critical. A partner who treats everyone with kindness and respect regards to the situation is likely to be consistent in their care and consideration for you. On the other hand, someone who selectively extends their best behavior could one day decide that you, too, are not needed, and their treatment of you could shift accordingly. It's not about perfection. Everyone has bad days or moments of frustration. What matters is the pattern. Are they quick to apologize if they slip up? Do they reflect on their behavior and strive to improve? Acknowledging and addressing mistakes is another sign of strong character. Ultimately, the way a person treats those they don't need reveals whether their values are genuine or situational. Observe this carefully, as it can provide profound insight into their true nature. Remember, true character is not just about how we act when we're at our best, it's about how we behave when there's nothing to gain. The true test of character often reveals itself when life turns challenging. It's easy to display poise, kindness, and good intentions when everything is going smoothly. But when pressure mounts, whether due to stress, conflict, or unforeseen adversity, a person's authentic self often comes to the surface. Observing how someone reacts in these moments offers profound insight into their resilience, emotional intelligence, and ethical core. Pressure has a way of stripping away pretenses. It's in these moments that you can see whether someone maintains their integrity or succumbs to less noble instincts. Do they lash out at others, blame external factors, or crumble under the weight of stress? Or do they approach the situation with thoughtfulness, accountability, and a determination to find solutions? These reactions are a mirror of their inner strength and capacity for growth. One key behavior to watch for is their ability to stay composed. Emotional regulation is a hallmark of a strong character. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions, it means managing them constructively. A person who can express frustration or disappointment without resorting to cruelty or aggression demonstrates maturity. On the other hand, someone who allows their stress to dictate their actions, yelling, insulting, or making rash decisions shows a lack of self-control that can be damaging in the long run. Another indicator is their willingness to take responsibility. Under pressure, do they own their mistakes and seek to rectify them? Or do they deflect blame onto others? Accountability is a cornerstone of trust. A person who can admit their role in a challenging situation and actively work toward solutions is someone you can rely on. Conversely, a tendency to evade responsibility can erode trust and reveal a self-serving mindset. Empathy under stress is another critical sign of character. When faced with adversity, does someone still consider the feelings of others, or do they become entirely self-focused? A person who remains considerate and supportive even when they're struggling demonstrates deep emotional intelligence and a commitment to their relationships. In contrast, someone who neglects or disregards others in difficult times may lack the capacity for meaningful connection. Pressure also highlights problem-solving abilities and adaptability. Do they approach challenges with a proactive mindset, seeking to learn and grow from the experience? Or do they become paralyzed by fear and resist change? A growth-oriented attitude under stress indicates resilience and a willingness to evolve, both of which are essential traits for navigating life's uncertainties. Finally, observe how they treat themselves during tough times. Self-compassion is a sign of healthy self-awareness. A person who acknowledges their limitations without being overly critical is likely to have a balanced perspective on life. On the other hand, someone who either berates themselves harshly or avoids introspection entirely may struggle with personal growth. In the end, how someone reacts under pressure reveals the foundation of their character. It shows their priorities, their emotional stability, and their ability to remain aligned with their values. When evaluating someone's true nature, pay close attention to these moments. They are windows into who they really are. One of the most profound indicators of a person's character is how they treat individuals who hold no power or influence over them. This could be anyone waitstaff at a restaurant, a stranger on the street, or someone who disagrees with them. In these interactions, the facade of self-interest dissolves, and what's left is an unfiltered display of their true nature. A person of integrity understands that respect is not a privilege reserved for a select few, but a fundamental right of every individual. They treat others with kindness and dignity, regardless of status or circumstance. When someone demonstrates empathy and respect to those who cannot offer them anything in return, it reflects a deeply rooted moral compass. Conversely, individuals who disregard or mistreat others in these situations reveal a self-serving or transactional mindset. For example, consider someone at a restaurant. Do they express gratitude toward the staff who serve them, or do they act dismissively or impatiently? This small act can reveal whether someone values people for who they are or sees them solely in terms of their function. The person who acknowledges and appreciates the efforts of others, regardless of their role, demonstrates humility and emotional intelligence. Similarly, pay attention to how someone interacts with those who might be considered different from them. How do they approach people with varying beliefs, cultures, or experiences? A strong character embraces diversity and seeks understanding rather than resorting to judgment or hostility. Their willingness to engage respectfully with others speaks volumes about their capacity for empathy and open-mindedness. Another crucial aspect is their treatment of animals or the environment. How a person interacts with beings or entities that cannot communicate, advocate for themselves, or fight back often mirrors their capacity for compassion and responsibility. Cruelty, neglect, or indifference in these areas can indicate a lack of emotional depth or ethical grounding. It's also telling to observe how someone reacts to disagreements or conflict. Do they listen to opposing views and respond thoughtfully? Or do they belittle, interrupt, or escalate the tension? The ability to engage constructively, even with those who oppose them, reflects maturity and self-control. It shows a person who values connection and understanding over ego. These everyday interactions might seem small, but they are often where true character is most visible. While anyone can put on a show of kindness when it benefits them, authentic behavior emerges when there's no perceived reward. People of strong character act with consistency. Their principles don't fluctuate based on who they're dealing with or what they might gain. Ultimately, observing how someone treats those who cannot benefit them provides invaluable insight into their values, priorities, and emotional depth. It shows whether their kindness and respect are genuine or performative. True strength lies in the ability to see and honor the humanity in everyone regardless of circumstance. This ability doesn't just reveal character, it builds it, shaping the kind of person who can foster meaningful, lasting relationships.